So I was reading a lot of comments about the election on both sides, right? And one of the things I find funny on the far right, a little bit hypocritical, is that well, they say that I'm voting for Donald Trump because they're tired of the immigrant crisis on the border, right? And they say that these immigrants are coming across the border and committing all these heinous crimes, and some of them are. Agreed on that, right? There should be a little bit tougher things done. I also remember though when Trump was building the wall, they had people jumping over his wall that was supposed to be unbreachable while he was down there giving an interview. So they literally have it on film, somebody jumping over the wall. So besides that, right? So they say that there's a lot of criminals that are committing murders and rapes and stuff like that. And you got to say grape because it's YouTube. But I remember, who else is a criminal? Oh yeah, Trump. So Trump, who committed all these heinous crimes, including Grape, who has to pay Jane Carroll because of it and was convicted in a civil court anyway, right? Who was friends with rapists like Epstein Island. Epstein himself, they have it on video where they're just laughing, being good old friends. Then there was Trump, who opened up a university that was a fraud, defrauded a lot of his own people, defrauded vets. Let's see, the bank fraud thing situation for his loans, and the list of criminal activities go on, of course, the election fraud. And so I just find it funny, right, that they say that, well, I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris because I want to clean up this criminal. But you're literally voting one of the biggest U.S. criminals in history back in office, so that automatically makes you a hypocrite. And don't get me wrong, but if you watch my channel, I'm not a fan of the big left, I'm no fan of the big right. It's the same bird as far as I'm concerned, if you're too far of anything, because they both lack any kind of sense. But as far as the Trump supporter is concerned, yeah, you're voting a criminal in, so you can't say I'm voting him in because I want to do something about the criminal activity. I support the police. No, you don't. And speaking of that, when it comes to the FBI, right? The FBI moves like pond water. The FBI is not seen in a good light anymore by anybody, and it's the FBI's own fault, right? The FBI should have locked Trump up a long time ago because there was enough evidence already about the election. Even Trump supporters say, yeah, they're like, hey, what are you going to do, you know? Yeah, but he did it. It's illegal. He should have had handcuffs put on him. So Jack Smith, who's supposed to be doing these investigations, is moving like pond water. And Trump said he's going to fire him. Well, you know what? It's kind of Jack Smith's own fault. Next time, move a little bit faster. So Trump comes to office, you're going to have mass corruption, and you're going to have mass problems with him getting rid of people in the FBI that probably want to do their job. But as far as Jack Smith goes, you're moving too slow, man. Matter of fact, you should have arrested Elon Musk already because it is against the law to pay for votes, and he's offering $1 million for somebody to vote a certain way, which is against the law. But Elon Musk ain't in handcuffs, so the FBI is a joke. But meanwhile, the FBI will raid somebody's bank vault, lie to a judge, you get a warrant. Then they take all their stuff and they say, well, we don't have inventory, we don't know where it went. And a judge ruled that, you know, this is wrong, fine. It took forever for a judge to rule. It should have took a week to get all that done. So yeah, American justice system has some problems right now. It really does. The FBI is not seen in good light. They're seen as thieves right now more than anything. So far as the investigation for against Trump for all that stuff, Jack Smith, you're moving like pond water, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe get up, put the coffee cup down, get your ankles off the desk, and do what you should have been doing all along. But yeah, the FBI is not seen in good light, but it doesn't mean I want Trump in office either, making things worse. So far as criminal activity is concerned, that you Trump supporters already become hypocrites for that, okay? I can't even take you guys seriously about some of that stuff, right? But then you hear like, well, you know, Harris, she doesn't want to go on Joe Rogan for a debate or anything like that because she can't answer questions, or she can answer a question this way. Last I checked, if she's answering questions, she doesn't answer them brilliantly. I'm no Harris fan. I think she's a ditz. But at the same time, she's an honest one, a little bit more anyway than Trump. But at least she was willing to go to CNN or go to all these debates where Donald Trump was in debate. So my thing is, you're a hypocrite again if you're making fun of Harris for answering questions, but you won't make fun of Trump for refusing to have a debate. You're a hypocrite. That's what being a hypocrite is. You're making fun of a person for doing one thing, but you won't make fun of the person that you're supporting for doing the same thing, basically, right? So I don't know what to tell you, Trump supporters. This is why you guys come off as idiotic, you mega supporters. Then we have the the sex thing when it comes to sports. Now, me personally, men shouldn't play in sports. There is only two sexes, whether you like it or not. No matter how much you throw a fit and want to commit acts of violence against me or anybody else, you're either male or female. Everything else is just going on in your head. You can't force people to go against science because of your personal beliefs, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to discriminate against you either, but doesn't mean I'm going to allow you to discriminate against me. Having said that, you see a lot of people wearing MAGA supporters. I saw a father chewing out a school board for having a male go into the bathroom with his daughter, and rightfully he should have. But if you think Trump's going to clean that up, like again, I have to remind you who he hung out with before. Trump didn't clean it up the first 4 years of office, and it should be cleaned up. I'm no fan of a lot of these schools. Some of you don't even know that when I was in school, me and the principal didn't get along too much because when I was being bullied, being jumped by 4 or 5 people, who, by the way, didn't even really hurt me. Some of you couldn't even punch me hard enough in high school. The point I'm trying to make is I'm no fan of these schools. Just like when I went in college, I saw a lot of this far left. I saw a few of the far right. I saw a lot of problems of committing. College was kind of a joke in some aspects, and it continues to be a joke across the board. And the problem I'm having with a lot of this, schools and stuff, is that they're trying to force women to play against men in sports, and some of them are being hurt, and it shouldn't happen. So far as me being on the side of MAGA on that, or the side of Republicans, or even on the side of a lot of us that might vote Democrat that don't like that stuff either. So, yeah, there's problems on the left and there's problems on the right. Just like when Joe Biden for Women's Day had a trans man, and he's not a woman. So that kind of hurts the image of the left. Personally, if I think every Democrat said, yeah, there's only male and female, and they passed laws to stop letting men play in women's sports, yeah, a lot of them probably get elected in a landslide, you know. But as long as you're supporting the 3%, it's going to happen like the last Star Wars Apocalypse, a lot of the stuff that's Marvel's going, you're going to get low views. You're going to have low support for that. But the problem I'm having with Trump supporters is he's not going to clean that up. He might try, but there's a lot of it's on the schools. Me personally, when it comes to schools, I had a few problem teachers. I had a problem when I was in university with a geology teacher, female. I actually had to leave geology and went back through history, got my degree in history and Asian minor, because the teacher was being inappropriate in some of the comments that she was making. I know there's a lot of problems in schools. I know there's a lot of problems, you know, like I said, even in high school, with them not doing anything about bullying. They're allowing girls to be abused by men pretty much, going in. They shouldn't be doing that. And you got people like Cenk Uygur say, well, what are you afraid of? A man's going to go in there and watch you pee. Yeah, kind of. You know, not to mention if people did the research, you see what percentage of trans people actually have a severe criminal history of doing really bad stuff against women and boys. It's a large percent. In some prisons, it's up to 50. Like I said, it doesn't mean you should be discriminated against. If you're the best person for the job, if you're the best person for even be a candidate, yeah, so be it. Whatever. Right? But you shouldn't discriminate against me. And being a man, if you want to be a woman, you shouldn't discriminate against real women that don't want you on a team. That's not cool. That's not biologically cool. You know, some women have got permanently hurt. You've seen those girls. So yeah, there's this lawsuit in college about that. So it is a big issue in America where the left has failed, but the right's not going to be able to fix it either. Me personally, another thing too, side note, is a lot of people are making fun of Joe Biden because he wants to get rid of the student loan debt, right? Even though like people like me that might be like 100% VA disabled, we get our stuff discharged. You know, some people I think did get a discharge. The court went ahead and proved it. I think I read somewhere a couple of days ago, but you know, personally, they're making fun of Biden because of what somebody said. Because somebody said, I know a guy I went to college with. He was my friend, and no, he went on vacation because his loans are going to get discharged. Well, here's the thing. If you are a severe Trump supporter and you say that the economy is just so wonderful under Trump, and you are against somebody going on vacation, even if the loans get discharged, right? Well, here's the problem I'm having. When you go on vacation, what are you doing? You're spending money. Let's say you go down to Florida, you go to one of those luxury hotels, you go spend a little bit of money, you go some shopping, you buy some knickknacks. Well, you're contributing to the economy. Let's say your argument if on vacation is you're going overseas. Don't matter how you look at it, you're going to spend money back into the U.S. economy. Whether it's the ports, the airports, the airplanes, the traveling, you're going to contribute to the economy. So making fun of somebody saying, well, you went on vacation. Well, it's contributing to jobs. Good. Good. Let him go on vacation and spend his money. There's some people probably appreciate it. Some restaurants, people selling clothes. Like I said, knickknacks, travel industry. That's good. You guys don't even know what you're making fun of sometimes. That's why I hate MAGA supporters. Because sometimes, honestly, you guys make it easy for somebody to make fun of you. Just like the far left. But going back to the college thing, yeah, college needs to be reworked. Me personally, if I was president, the way college treats a lot of veterans, and you got young kid, I think Papa Stimulus, whatever his YouTube channel is, he showed a young girl saying she hopes that all veterans do get PTSD. She hates soldiers. This is a U.S. girl, citizen, saying this, and she's not the only one because I heard it on U.S. campuses. They say, we take over classrooms, we do this, we do that. And a lot of it's just leadership. We're not afraid, And so if you're going to talk bad about U.S. veterans, it's because you get to talk bad about U.S. veterans because we fall for your right to have a free speech, even for using that free speech for stupidity. The other thing I can't stand too is that, like I said, I'm not a fan for it. So if I was president, to get back to that, I would probably change the way universities are getting paid. I wouldn't probably let veterans. I'd probably have more support for going to trade schools, which is better opportunity. Now, it used to be back in the 80s and 90s, if you had a bachelor's degree, you were good to go, man. But now a bachelor's degree is the new high school. And it's as sad as true. And you got people out there, masters and doctors, that can't get a degree because you need somebody to open up a door. And not everybody's like that. And everybody's like the socialite that has all these friends and knows a lot of these people. Some of us, like me, are introverts. We have a hard time even putting down references. It doesn't mean we ain't the best person for the job. A lot of times we are. We do a good job. That's part of the problem sometimes. So yeah, schools need to be rethought. I would pull funding for any school in a university if I was president that taught anything other than male and female. Because if you're not going to be science-based, then you shouldn't be teaching. You're not going to get federal funds to be teaching something that's not science-based. Now, as far as like degrees with mathematics that are severe, unfortunately, like geology, even though I had a few bad teachers, I could tell you stories all day about some of my geology teachers. Some of them were just god awful. Even some of my history teachers were incredibly dumb, man. But anyway, the colleges, like I said, need to be rethought. But I also remember, like I told you guys before, when it comes to criminal activity, Trump had his own university, and he defrauded a lot of people. It wasn't even a legit university. And some of y'all want to vote for him because of this. You're literally voting for a guy that would literally rip every penny off of you, man. Literally. And some of you Americans that say, well, we're tired of the price of food, we're tired of the price of gas, we're tired of cost. But guess what? That's global. That's just not America, it's global. And part of the problem, too, was Bill Clinton, believe it or not. And I blame a lot of stuff on him because of that NAFTA. We sent too many jobs overseas. If I was president, that wouldn't happen anymore. If you're going to send a job overseas, I'm going to ban your product in America. Because if your product isn't good enough to be made in America, well, then it shouldn't be sold. My theory is, it's real simple, right? If you're a factory owner and you want to make money, you got to keep the money in American hands. Because if you send jobs overseas, the factory next to you closes down, sends jobs overseas because you want to exploit child labor or cheaper labor, and you don't even pass the price off to the American people. Instead, you raise price, give yourself a 60% CEO pay increase, millions of dollars, like Microsoft did recently, I heard. And my wife. But anyway, so Microsoft did all that stuff with their CEO, if you read about that. So they want to go to China and they want to investigate. The only people that want to go to China, investigating some of the manufacturing going on over there. Man, I watched congressmen ripped into him for that. That's a long story itself. Point I'm trying to make is if you're a MAGA supporter and you're interested in jobs, the hat that you're wearing is made in China, so you're already a hypocrite to begin with. There are hat people in America that have made that. Donald Trump didn't choose them. Donald Trump's daughters, clothing lines made in China. So if you're saying, well, everything's made in China, China's a problem, well, you get after Biden for that stuff, but you won't get after Trump for using China. Right? I'm no big fan of what's going on over in China. A lot of factories are leaving. A lot of them are going to India and Thailand, back to the Philippines or whatnot. But the point I'm trying to make is you MAGA supporters, if you get your way, you inadvertently might be hurting yourselves. I don't feel sorry for anybody's election. Personally, it's an ugly election. I don't think Harris should be running. I didn't think Biden should be running. Trump shouldn't be running. We have a serious problem right now in America where the left, far left and the far right, they both suck. They're both so out of touch of reality that it's just mind-boggling. It's the same people. Like I said, yeah, if I was president, the universities are going to be rethought. High school is going to be rethought. There won't be any men on women's teams. Don't matter how much they jump up and down, scream, and get angry. Too bad. Too bad. That's what you got to hear sometimes. No. That's the problem with a lot of these younger generations. They don't like to hear the word no. Right? But, you know, to make fun of Biden for trying to get rid of student debt so people can start off in their life on a good standing and a good foot. If you're trying to make fun of, the border situation and blaming that on Biden, at the same time, you're going to vote a criminal in office that does the same stuff he's accusing everybody else has done, actually been convicted of doing that stuff. Yeah. Should something be done about the border? Yeah, Jeff, you betcha. You know, even though America is a nation of immigrants, built by immigrants on the back of slaves, yeah, maybe something should be done. Is the wall the best solution? No, we're going to have to go a little bit more technology advanced on that. You have to come down hard on that. Do I think it'd be fair if it's true that veterans were in a hotel and they got kicked out for that, immigrants? Yeah, the veterans shouldn't support either one. Maybe we veterans should have better people running. Trump don't support veterans. He doesn't even like disabled people. So if you're a military vet and you support Trump, there's something seriously wrong with you. That means if you go to war and you're still in the army and somebody gets hurt, Trump don't even want to look at you, but you're going to vote for him? What's wrong with you? How dumb are you? Don't get me wrong, too, again. When I was in the military, there was a lot of dumb people. We called them COs, sometimes NCOs, sometimes privates. The stupidity didn't have a Pacific rank. It was widespread. It was widespread in January 6th happened when a lot of veterans tried to attack the Capitol. Again, they hated America. They were waving a Trump flag. They weren't really waving the U.S. flag, which is another problem. If you vote for Trump, you're not voting for America. You long hated America a long time ago. So yeah, this election is going to be really ugly. And you know what? It's your own fault, America. I can't save you. You're not even willing to save yourself, so why should I throw you a life raft? Meanwhile, you're trying to drown me with you in your own stupidity. And man, that's the big issue here. Is why do I got to pay for your stupidity as an American because we can't find some people better to run? And the far left and the far right, you're completely destroying everything. And you're too stupid to see it.